Hello, and welcome back to Don't Starve Reign of Giants. On our last episode, we started exploring the world we found ourselves lost in, and we were pretty lucky to find the Beefalo. First episode, we found a wooden fort that we didn't actually go exploring, but we'll have to go check out maybe today. And what else did we do? We also found some wild pigmen who are guarding a bunch of berries, which we'll want to grab for ourselves as soon as we can. Ah, and there's some beefalo now, so... Yeah, but first, I guess we're also trying to figure out exactly where we want to build our home. And so far we haven't found any wormholes, which are one of my little, check marks and criteria for the ideal base. I mean, beefalo is the number one and top priority. I guess the next in that list is the wormhole, and then third priority is just, I guess, something that's, aesthetically pleasing. And for me, that's usually a nice pine forest or something like that, or at least a nice bit of grassland. But if we don't have that now, we can always build that later. And all, since eventually we'll probably want to terraform our little world we've found ourselves in. Depending on how long we find ourselves staying here, hopefully we can get a good bit of survival here. And sorry that I keep kind of going in and out of the map. I just really have a thing for mapping out the territory and getting a good idea of where everything is. So hopefully that's not too annoying. When I'm playing on my own, I don't really... Oh, and isn't this just what I was saying last episode? And all, I was hoping that there'd be a nice little kind of foresty type area right here in the middle of the plains biome. And there's not even any trees here, so there's nothing but room to improve and really make this area our own. Make it feel like home, really. Oh, this is beautiful. And it doesn't have a wormhole, and it's always nice to have one of those nearby, so that if we do need to make a hasty exit from here. But considering how nice and centrally located this is, aside from that, we might, say, we don't need a wormhole and just make do as we are. But there might be a wormhole somewhere nearby, and we might as well... Oops. Alright, sorry about that. I apparently hit the cheat button. What is the control for opening up the console? And then it's not tab. Let's see, what did I hit? Because we don't want to accidentally open that, since we are going to try getting through this without cheating. Debug console. Let's put that to something I'm probably not going to hit. Yes, I shouldn't ever accidentally tap that button. Alright, so, with that out of the way, let us continue exploring. Pick up a couple of seeds here, just to try holding hunger off a bit as we continue exploring. Oh my, look at the size of this beefalo herd. Got a pretty good thing going here already. I'm feeling really good about this particular world. We might never want to leave this place. Well, actually, that's not true. Since we're pretty much playing fresh, we'll want to eventually move on just so we can unlock the other characters if things start, I guess, getting just a bit stale. Since, that does tend to happen once you pretty much master one area, and especially with a start as strong as this, I don't think we're going to die anytime soon unless I make some rookie mistakes. Let's eat that. Since the seeds are basically just temporary, holding off our hunger for the time being. I'll just leave the mouse over there in the corner for now so we can keep an eye on our hunger as we continue wandering this vast, vast open field. There's also a gobbler up there wandering around for some reason. Probably came from that bush over there. But I am really, really impressed with the start we have here. I mean, I probably shouldn't keep going on about that, because I've had really good starts before and completely threw them away making stupid mistakes and all, but I'm optimistic so far. So somewhere around here is where we're going to want to put down our campfire, maybe near the crossroads. Let's have a look at the map. And there's some trees over there, so, and in general I like to have everything somewhat close together, but not so close that when things inevitably start catching fire come summertime. Oh yeah, we need more stones before we can make our permanent home. Yes, hold on there, Wilson. Alright, there's some rocks over here. So, another day almost done. Alright, let's hurry up and maybe we'll get our camp. Oh, there's the, fortress that we kinda left alone. Alright, we'll leave that chest for now, because I believe that is a trap. Well, the old well, I guess this isn't a fortress, it's some kind of old beefalo pen. Let's leave it alone for now. And for the time being, just make sure we have enough stones in order to build our permanent campfire. Yeah, we still have plenty of time until night falls upon us, so let's, I guess, push our luck as much as we can. And we do have a nearly full torch, in case we need to, I guess, make an emergency run back to safety. There's one more rock around here somewhere. Oh, that was the one rock, okay, never mind. Now I'm thinking we may want to destroy that fort eventually for its resources. And that actually wouldn't be a bad place to start some kind of camp either, but I'm liking this. And it's aesthetically pleasing for everything that I want. So, let's see here. We'll put it, I don't know, I guess around the crossroads. And maybe a little way, since I do like to sort of make sure that I can place all the other things we're eventually going to be building around the campfire, and I don't like building on the road itself, so we'll just wait for nightfall. Alright. And in the morning, we'll go ahead and start planting those extra pine cones so we can have a forest, sort of like, start some forestry type things. What do we need to build the science machine? We can actually get that up tonight as well. We'll stick it pretty much right by the road. Whatever science things, thermal measure, that's just pretty useless and all, but I mean, once we have more resources than we really know what to do with, it won't really matter. Let's learn to make rope, boards. We can't make cut stone. We can make a chest, though. Where do we want to put that? Not too close to the fire. Well, no, it wouldn't catch fire, but a little bit away from the fire is probably ideal. Maybe over there. And we can start sticking things in it. Like that. Extra gold. This night neater, which we won't really need any, or we won't have any use of for a while. Probably don't need that. Since it's... we can also do a bit of inventory management. Get things nice and tidy. I see you there, Gobbler. Alright. Like to keep these things all on that corner of my inventory. Alright, let's just start planting some trees. Of course, I probably should consider planting a couple of, like, emergency trees in case I need wood. a bit closer to the fire, but for now I think we don't really have anything to worry about, so I won't worry. Now what we are really going to want is a shovel, I think, and a hammer. Just plant some more of these. And I think our actual campfire is just far enough away from all this that we don't need to worry about it bursting into fire off screen while we're, working on everything. So, let's see here. Tool, structures, survival tools, there we go. We want a shovel. Pitchfork we'll save for later. Razor we'll save for later. We need some more stones if we want to build a hammer. Like to keep all the tools on this end of the screen, or inventory bar. And I pick that up, thank you. Let's see, we are forgetting a backpack, which is under survival, I believe. We'll want to start making traps so we can start catching rabbits. There we are, a backpack. There you are. And we'll stick our armor in the backpack. Actually, we might as well take some time to cook these since they're starting to go stale. And it's probably going to be a little bit before we... that's what I'm forgetting. We're going to want to get a crock pot, which means when I start cutting trees down, I'm going to want to save a couple of pine cones to set a little, I guess, charcoal burning area. We're actually doing a bit more miserably when it comes to food than I thought. But that should keep us going for a while. And we'll also want a spear, eventually. Since I want to show off my hunting prowess as soon as possible. I don't really know why that's a big deal, but apparently it is. Oh, and there's some rabbits not too far away from our home. Let's see here. What am I trying to do exactly? Well, I guess we'll want to, have a day trip away to harvest all these berry bushes and bring them closer to home. Yeah, I'm pretty confident, given the lack of rain that we've been having. I mean, we're in day 5 and it only rained once for a few seconds. Oh, look at all these rabbit holes. I mean, we are not going to be wanting for food, that is for sure. Let's see, switch over to our shovel so we can start bringing berry bushes over. Then we'll want to start collecting a bit of a manure stockpile so that we can keep said berry bushes nice and fertilized. I don't like leaving stumps lying around. It'd be kind of nice, I think, sometimes if those stumps would eventually grow or rot into something. Just so I didn't intend to do that, but we do need some of those, so... Actually, I might as well harvest the things that are farther away, I guess. Probably not all of them, since we don't want too much. Or we don't want to, I guess, deforest too much of the world away from where our camp is going to be, because that'll just end up in a situation where when we do wander from camp, we'll end up not having any resources to resupply ourselves if, emergencies happen. But I don't think we have too much to worry about right now, hopefully. Our sanity is fine, we're starting to grow a nice beard. Which... I kind of wish that the way the shaving mechanic worked was that every time you used the razor you only went down a beard level, since I kind of like Wilson with this nice sort of clean beard look and all, but instead of having to start over every time, his beard eventually, or inevitably really, ends up getting too long. Alright. Continue harvesting things for our home. Actually, it occurs to me, this is probably the fastest I've ever set up a permanent home in recent playthroughs, since I usually almost spend like the entire first season just wandering around, which is dangerous if you end up in spring, since summer is definitely not a season that you want to get caught unprepared for, mostly because it requires a bit more preparation than winter, and all you need for winter is a fire, and you're pretty much good to go. Summer, on the other hand, you need to make sure that you've got the right gear set up so that you can actually keep yourself cool. And because we're good citizens, we'll plant that. Okay. Let's just make a little fire for the night. There's a berry bush just in... Calm down, Wilson. You're not that hungry. When I stopped being able to see the little yellow bit on the bar, that's when we know that we're really in danger, I think. Alright. Just spend the night preparing for the day, basically. Like optimizing my time as much as possible. There we are. Just to free up a bit of space. No point in really stoking up the fire. We're not going to be coming back to this place. Just run around in the ever-shrinking circle of light, praying for sunlight. Alright, and we're off. And there's no other source of berry bushes, but there is a bit of area that we didn't explore earlier. Okay, not really that much, but there was a bit that we had left unexplored, and now we know for sure that there's just an edge there. Maybe we won't go home right away. I'm not particularly worried, since we seem to be in pretty good shape so far, and winter is still some ways off. Let's see, how many berry bushes do I have? 7? Okay, so... Actually, let's zoom out the map again a little. Though it occurs to me I probably should have considered making a spear before... You know, let's go back and take this. Should have considered making a spear before we left, just in case we run into any dangerous and unfriendly people. Oh, and there's our first cave entrance. We'll leave that for now. I want to come back for this cobblestone that's just sitting here. Since if I don't have to make it myself, it just makes life easier. And in these sort of patchwork Alright, we have Leave the Evil Flowers. Oh, and there's a spear right there. A good find, I'd say. So overall, we're in pretty good shape. Possibly too good shape, even. You know, fortune is smiling upon us. You know, with all the really good resources and such all around us in fairly close proximity. But again, I mean, that's the thing about Don't Starve. You can be having a really good time, everything's going your way, and then bam, something comes out of nowhere and you die. In fact, I don't think I've ever actually died of starvation in this game. It's always that mistake, that, you know, not making the right choices, not planning exactly what it is you're doing and knowing your limits. And oh, some tall birds. Hello. Hi there, tall bird. I don't think we want to fight today. Some more cobblestone we'll want to pick up later. And I suppose we might want to keep wandering around for now, since, like I said, once I get too settled into a camp site, I kind of stop traveling. I also see some ice over there, which, I mean, since it's autumn, we probably don't need to worry too much about collecting ice and whatnot, since as soon as winter hits, we'll be able to get all the ice we can handle, and then some. There we are. Always good to... Actually, we're completely full on inventory right now, so I suppose we really should start heading back. If only to empty out our inventory so we can start again. Plenty of resources. Okay. And get that berry bush. Might as well grab that grass tuft. But yeah, we really should be heading back. If I tell myself that enough times, I might actually listen and turn around. Yeah, these flowers are starting to go stale. Alright, so we've already been here for sure. Have to remember all this cobblestone to come back and harvest eventually. No, 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 no! Don't you dare! Don't you dare! That's my flint. Okay. That's... Yeah, I have a real thing about making sure I definitely get all the edges filled in on the map. Well, but we seem to have this patchwork sort of biome pretty well figured out, it seems. I think we have get into a rock biome. I guess a little rock biome in the middle of the patchwork biome. Or at least that's what I call it, when this sort of mishmash of all the other biomes mixed together. I'm not sure if it's actually called patchwork biome. But it sounds appropriate, so that's what I go with. I think we can safely leave that behind for now. And I guess we really should start heading back. Of course, where is our camp? Our camp is down there. We might want to maybe... Oh, there's a trap over there. You know, maybe we will want to consider having like a backup camp over here. And we have plenty of resources. So why not? Just, where do I want to put it exactly? I guess here's as good a spot as any. Cook up our hard-earned meats. Just start collecting things that are lying around on the ground. Let's see, how are we doing? Pretty good, I'd say. Got lots of rope. You know, maybe I was a bit too hasty when I thought, hey, let's up the amount of I guess, set pieces. But oh well. And as this night, I guess, wears on, it's probably a time as any to put another cut in the video. So, thank you all for watching. Consider hitting the like button if you like the video, and if you're new, consider subscribing. And I'll see you next time.